Good evening. I thought I'd show you the sweet and sour pork that I'm going to make for dinner. I'm serving it with rice noodles, and it's really quick, really easy, and it's just full of so much goodness. And doesn't that chopping board just look lovely with all that brightly coloured veg and fruit on it? Obviously, if you don't eat meat, if you're vegan or vegetarian, just leave out the meat. I'm using pork tonight, but you could use chicken, beef, whatever meat, or none at all if you don't want. I've also got good helping of garlic here. I'm serving my sweet and sour pork tonight with rice noodles. I absolutely love these noodles because you can just put them in a bowl like this, pour over boiling water, put a plate on top, and within a few minutes they're done, so you don't need to do them in a pan or anything. So that's fantastic. You can just leave those to quickly cook while you're preparing everything else. Right, so all we need to do to prepare this is get some oil in your pan. I love using toasted sesame oil when I'm doing stir-fry dishes. I just think it adds a really nice flavour to it. So I really highly recommend getting some sesame oil. And then you just want to get your pan heated. And while that's warming up, I'm just going to pour some boiling water on my noodles. And they're really handy, these noodles, because they're in little nests. So just do as many as you need for however many you're feeding. And then you just put a plate on the top, and that will just cook those while you're cooking the rest of everything else. So on my chopping board, I've got broccoli, pineapple, red onion, mushrooms, carrot, and some salt and pepper. Now obviously you can interchange these vegetables. Like if you don't like mushrooms, use something else. Just create food that you like to eat. You know, if there's vegetables you don't like, use different ones. So once your pan's heated up, you want to get your meat in first. And that sizzling sound's a really good sound that you've got a nice warm pan for cooking. I absolutely love the smell that sesame oil gives off when you're cooking it. It just smells delicious. So you just want to get your meat cooking a bit before you put your vegetables in. Obviously if you've got a wok, you can use a wok or frying pan. Just use whatever you've got to hand. And once you've got a good bit of colour on your meat, so it's looking a lot more cooked now, then you can put in all your vegetables and your seasoning. I've also got some garlic here, but I'm just going to let the other vegetables cook off for a little minute more before I put that in. Runaway pineapple. Right, the meat and veg has been cooking for a few minutes now, so I'm going to add my garlic. And just give that a good mix in. And you can see that that's really starting to cook now. It really is worth getting in touch with your senses when you're cooking, because it's rare that I follow recipes, and rare that I sort of time things really, because when you can see so much with food, the changes in colour with it, the changes in smells, even texture, you know, handling food, you know a lot from food just by smelling and touching and looking. And you know, for millennia we never had scales or timers and clocks. We would just cooking, you know, with our senses. So really tap into that, because then you can just get into such a flow with cooking. Then you're not having to constantly like be checking the clock. You just know when stuff's done because you can smell that it's done, or you can see that it's done. So yeah, the more you cook, the more you can get into a flow with it. So yeah, use your senses. Just going to cover that up now. Leave that for a few more minutes. And if we look under here, we can see that the noodles are now done. And be careful, because this is boiling water, so just drain it off in a colander or a sieve, just so you're not burning yourself or anything. Right, I've got my noodles drained off here. I've just popped them back in my serving bowl, so you can just put the sweet and sour pork on top. I'm just leaving them with a plate on top, just so they don't dry out, and that just keeps them a bit warmer as well. And I'm going to put in my sauce now. I just buy sweet chilli sauce, usually a big old bottle of it, because I absolutely love sweet chilli sauce, and it's just so handy to have in the fridge or the cupboard, and especially for dishes like this, it just makes it really quick, because you can just put in a good old squirt of sweet chilli sauce, and that's your sauce for the dish. Now obviously how much sauce you need just depends on how much veg and meat you've got, so just add a bit, and if you need a bit more you can just add a bit more. And obviously if you're cooking for more people, just add more veg and add more meat, you know, just increase it to whatever portion sizes that you need. And add a little bit more sauce, because I like it saucy. It's smelling good. I'm just going to leave that to simmer away for a minute. Just reduce the heat a little, and leave the lid off so it can you can just give it a little stir, keep an eye on it. And that will help the sauce to thicken as well then. And obviously cook to your preference as well. Like if you don't like your vegetables so crunchy, just cook it for a little longer. If you like them with a nice bite, cook it for a little less. I would say we're looking pretty good there. And obviously if you're worried about like how cooked your meat is, just take the biggest bit out and cut it in half, and then you can just check that it's done. Which we can see that that's done. There we go. Dinner finished. And there we go. Sweet and sour pork on rice noodles. Yummy.